Hey guys, what's up? Sarah Jane, thank you for coming back to my YouTube channel. So I decided that I might give you guys something a little different today. I've been cooking for a very long time, most of my life, and I came up with a recipe probably a few months ago for Tony. I saw something very similar to it on Tasty, the YouTube channel, and I thought, well, maybe we could add a little bit more here and do a little bit more there. So today we are making chicken mozzarella pesto filled garlic knots. One of my favorite things that I have learned how to make since we started at this apartment. Now I don't make them often, this is probably my third time making them, but Tony seems to really love them. And since we've both kind of had a hard day today, I figured, why not? Let's try it. For this recipe, you will need two raw chicken breasts that have been thawed. You're also going to need some mozzarella cheese. You can get the bricked cheese. I normally get the bricked cheese. This is the first time I'm trying with the shredded. I also use Classico pesto sauce, but you can use any kind of pesto sauce that you want. Typically, I go for the Great Value flaky biscuits. To season your chicken, you're gonna want some Italian seasoning, some onion powder, and some garlic salt. Now, for the garlic knot portion, I typically use 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter, the Italian seasoning, and minced garlic. So, first step is to season our chicken. I like to liberally season my chicken, even if it's got extra seasoning on it. It's better than not having any. We preheated our oven. I normally do it to about 375, 400, depending on what kind of oven you have. Sometimes a little different. Okay, now I'm gonna pop these bad boys in the oven. And they're gonna cook for about 25-30 minutes. While that's going on, I'm gonna take out a big plate. Something I'm gonna try to do today is add a little bit of flour to the plate. So you're just gonna take one of these at a time. I normally just stretch it a little until it gets kind of wide. I normally go about this big, because any bigger and it starts to fall apart. I put it on the side, and then I move on to the next one. Okay, so I'm gonna finish these and we'll be back in a second. While we're waiting for the chicken to cook, we can also set up the butter. So you take 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter, and you're gonna add some onion powder, some Italian seasoning. This is your preference. If you want to add graduated garlic or garlic powder to it, by all means do it. But if not, I normally take about a full tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of real garlic and add it in there. Now, once you get that, you want to microwave this. It's gonna be about 10-second intervals. If you feel like you have too much butter, that's okay. Put more garlic in it, put more seasoning in it, and if you have a little extra, just save it for later. If you feel like you have too much garlic, you can always add a little bit more butter and just even it out. So it's been 15-20 minutes and the chicken is cooked. So what we're gonna do with the chicken now is cut it into pieces. This may be a little big of a knife, but I'd rather have a bigger one than too small of a knife. So what we're gonna do is just cut it this way. And you want even chunks. They don't have to be even, but honestly they should be about 1/2 inch thick. Unless you find your own dough, unless you make your own dough, then you can have them as thick as you want. When you're done cutting them that way, you can cut them down the middle, and you want a chunk about that big. And you just cut them all in half so they will fit nicely into your biscuit. I'm gonna put them on a separate plate just so we can set this tray up to use again for the finished product. So now it's time to start actually assembling. So you want to put a spoonful of the pesto sauce on the mozzarella and on the biscuit, and then put a little bit of mozzarella in the middle. Normally I'd add a little bit more pesto, but lately they've kind of started leaking out the last time I did this. So I think I'm just gonna stick with what's in there. And then you take a chunk of chicken and you put that in the middle, and you want to try to pinch around the chicken to close it up. Eventually you're going to want to pick it up and roll it around and try to make sure that it is all closed. Once you have a closed ball, you move it to the tray. So I'm going to finish these up, and when we come back, we'll put the garlic sauce on. So now that that's done, and I've finished them all, we're going to take the butter that we previously used and made, make sure it's mixed up. I don't have a brush to brush it on, so I am just going to spoon it, which is what I normally end up doing. To each one, just enough to cover most of it. When the chicken is done and cooled, you want to turn the temperature down to whatever the biscuits or dough that you are making or using is, because that's the temperature you're going to be cooking the biscuit garlic knot. So mine says 350, so I turned it down to 350. So now that that's done and it looks all beautiful, we're gonna pop these bad boys in the oven. These call for 350 at 15 to 16 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do. If your biscuits or croissants or whatever you end up using says a different time, then use that time. But that's what my time is. And I'll see you in 15 to 16 minutes. Okay, so we're back. I took them out of the oven. I did broil them for about 2 minutes just to make sure that they were nice and crispy on the top. And they look so good. Look at that. So I'm gonna serve them up and give them to Tony. Look how good they look. I made these and showed everyone.
What?
I made them and showed everyone.
Cool.
I know you've tried them before, but go ahead and try this one.
Oh.
They're a little hot. What do you think?
Croissant, right?
Biscuit.
Biscuit?
Yeah, the buttery biscuits that we bought the other day.
I couldn't think the last time we used light because this actually threw me off a little bit.
No,
it's good.
we use buttery biscuits. I've always used buttery biscuits.
Did you do something new with it? Because it's throwing me off.
I didn't double the pesto sauce this time, and I used shredded mozzarella instead of the blocked mozzarella.
Probably the pesto then. It's good. Oh, I'll move it over there so we can eat.
So that's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you have anything that you like to cook. If you want to forward a recipe for me or suggest something that you might want me to make, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the big like button and subscribe to my channel. Bye.